But this is the basic idea that says that human beings are going to ascend a moral ladder based on either the actions of a third party or just the change of their material circumstances. I remember the Dalai Lama talking about how he said, I knew as a Buddhist that happiness, fulfillment, contentment won't come from material things. It's a pretty well established Buddhist worldview. It says, but coming from such a poor country and seeing the suffering that poverty causes on people, I couldn't help but think, out of my lived experience, he didn't use that term, of course, that maybe wealth could help people get closer to happiness. And then he confesses, which I love. He confesses to traveling to California to do Dalai Lama business and staying in people's homes and peeking into their medicine cabinets in their bathrooms and seeing all the prescription meds for psychiatric conditions of imbalance and unhappiness, that these people had literally every material benefit, but happiness somehow remained elusive. And that's because of the materialist idea that if we just, and we saw the same thing in, there are people, for example, involved in the ayahuasca traditions that believe that the matter of the medicine is the thing that creates the change. That it has nothing to do with the ceremony, it has nothing to do with the consciousness or the expertise of the maestro or the intention of the maestro. None of that. That's all superstitious stuff because we're so smart now. You're not smart. You're just a materialist. That just means that you only see stuff that hits you in the face. That doesn't mean, it means you've developed no subtlety or you've sworn off subtlety because you only want things you can measure with a machine. And it turns out a lot of human life is not measurable by a machine. A lot of the places where meaning lives isn't measurable by machine. And the things that influence human development, and that's why I'm always kind of pushing back against the conversation of happiness. And I'm saying, oh, happiness, it's not what it's cracked up to be, right? And I'm not trying to be Schopenhauerian or anything like that, just to be a grump or something, crotchety, right? Get off of my lawn, No, because to me it's two dimensional, and who you are on the deepest level is not two dimensional.